Good evening. I am Freddie Coleman IV, a photojournalist for Silver Studios at Clark Atlanta University. To whom do I have the pleasure of speaking with?
Jason McDonald, Allight Media. I'm the
To meet you.
owner, operator of Allight Media.
Good to meet you, Mr. Jason. You sound more of a virtuous sports photographer. Would that be accurate?
Well, I'm going to capture the event. I'm going to capture the images that tell the story of the game. An injury doesn't always tell the story of a game, and it may not even be used. Um, so if you're thinking about, virtuous in the fact that I'm not going to do anything that doesn't reflect what actually went on, yeah. But I don't see photographers, the majority of photographers only want to capture the peak of the action or an instance of elation where someone could say, look at that and say, oh yeah. Like the picture of Jordan holding the championship trophy. Everybody remembers that photo, right? Not
Right.
everybody was capture it, but it's an iconic photo because of the emotion that he was exhibiting when the picture was taken. You could ignore all the photos from the game and you saw that one photo, you already knew what happened. So it told the entire story in one image. So that's what you want. You want to capture images that give someone who wasn't there an opportunity to be there through your lens.
Hi, my name is Tierra's Polite.
It's good to meet you, Miss Tieras. So, can you tell me a ethical dilemma that you faced as a sports photographer?
Yes. So probably one example would be the usage of imagery, especially on like public channels. Um, Especially now that there's a whole element of name, image, likeness, and how that impacts players and, affects their ability to get paid, not get paid, etc. But also, as sport photographers, we kind of have this access that nobody else potentially has, right? Like the fans don't have it, their parents, blah 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 blah. But, in order to capture content, we do have to be in a lot of private spaces. So we're going to be in the locker room, we might be in the huddle, we might be, whatever, whatever. Um, so one instance would be capturing and posting certain images. So like one instance, like I did a post, and every time you do a post, there's this like underlying like, okay, do I like how much do you have to think into this post in terms of um if say you shoot for a team, but you get a really great shot of another team, do I post that great shot? Do I wait? For me, it was something that I did go ahead and do. But it like rubbed the like my contracted team the wrong way. Not enough for us like take it down, but it is an instance.
My name is Mark Hayes. I'm the current president and CEO of markhayesconsulting.com. We are a media uh, public relations slash content creation company, and we help companies with their visibility, creating content, and telling their story with pictures.
It's perfect. And so you spoke on some unwritten rules, right?
Mhm.
So can you give me a few examples of some written rules within the photojournalism?
Yeah, I was trying to think of some written rules last night, but like things like the police line. We respect all boundaries. We're not going on private property. We're not going into the ER room at hospitals. You don't, where the ambulance lines, you don't cross that threshold. And you give people their privacy. Once they say, we don't want you to come in our establishment, you don't go in. I remember I was part of a lawsuit where the photojournalist and myself went into a restaurant and we shot video. And because the owner of the establishment had never asked us to leave, we continued to roll and continued to shoot video. And we were doing a story on restaurant inspections and restaurant food safety. And so we ended up in court. We ended up in having to take depositions, and he filed a lawsuit against the television station, and he lost because we were given government information. But a big part of it was whether or not we were trespassing and shooting video in a place that we were not welcome. And we could refer to the videotape where he had not asked us to leave, and then when he finally did ask us to leave, we left. So there aren't as many written rules as you would think when it comes to journalism as a whole, and when it comes to photojournalism. But common sense does come into play. Moral character is definitely a big part of it. You can't do this job as a photojournalist just flying blind.